you're a bit like me and you've been reading up on all the experts and in theory know all the stuff, but somehow still run out of money halfway through your pay cycle, stick with me. I have a plan. I've done a video 2 weeks ago about financial tips I wish I knew 20 years ago. So I've done my research, I've listened to the experts, I've worked out my budget, I worked out my fixed costs, I know what my general spending looks like, but it's halfway through the pay cycle and somehow I'm out of cash again and using my credit card to get petrol and groceries for the next 2 weeks until that paycheck comes back in. Sounds familiar? I'm trying to fix this. So with the new financial year starting this week here in Australia, I'm setting myself a challenge. The challenge is to finally set up an easy to follow system that I can follow to not overspend, end up with cash in my accounts by the end of the month, but also put away money for savings and pay off my debts. The ultimate goal also is to finally have an emergency fund of at least 3 months worth of my salary for emergencies, for unforeseen things, and for that big bill that always seems to be coming in when you least expect it. As without this emergency money on the side, I find that there's always something unexpected coming up. There's always a big bill to be paid, and I default to using the credit card to do these things, and then I'm back at square one, running out of cash, using the credit card, paying it off, and the cycle keeps going on and on. So there are many reasons why I, and many others I believe, are struggling with budgeting. When starting out, there's not much money in the bank account, so the budget for me seems to stay on track until something unexpected happens, or a big bill comes in that I can't split over months to pay, and bam, all the money's gone again, and I'm back at square one using the credit card. And then because all the money is gone again, I get all stressed and worried and angry with myself that I didn't manage to stick to the budget. And what happens next? The emotional spending starts. I'll go and take myself out for breakfast, get some coffees, maybe meet friends for dinners, which is probably not a bad thing to do when you're feeling a bit gloomy, but still the money isn't there for it. Or you might just go out and buy the next pair of beautiful shoes you think you really need. It's a cycle I'm really trying to break. Also, financial education is not taught in schools, neither is it really discussed at home or over the dinner table. So if you are not born liking numbers and a bit like me, who really doesn't find joy in dealing with numbers, you have to educate yourself and find out what you need to do in order to get your finances under control and hopefully end up with some financial freedom in your later years. See, I've never liked maths. I've always been bad at maths, and so I didn't really even try. And I hated accounting even more when I started my apprenticeship and had to do accounting as a subject. So when I started earning money, I really had no tools or knowledge on what to do with it. I never really worked out how much I needed to pay my bills, how much money I had left over for fun, and saving didn't even cross my mind in my 20s. Lucky for me, life always seems to somehow work out, and I always had enough money to pay the important bills, keep myself alive, and still be able to go out and have some fun. Saying that, there's never been money in my savings accounts, and now, with nearly 50, I'm wishing I had paid some more attention to actually what to do with my money, and there was enough money to put some aside and actually have a good emergency fund and some retirement money put aside by now. But I didn't, so hence, I'm starting now. So in order to start this financial year the right way, and finally, at 47, make a difference in my financial freedom, I am going back to a tool that I really liked 10 years ago. But just somehow didn't stick to it. It is called the Barefoot Investor Bucket System. I really like this system because it is made for people like myself that really don't like to think about money and don't have the patience to spend lots of time on managing their money either. It is pretty simple in the way that it disregards the need to track your expenses all the time. You will need to work out your fixed costs and your living expenses though to get started, but I guess that is the minimum we all should be doing anyway. Knowing how much money we all need to survive in life is essential. So your fixed costs are rent, mortgage, insurances, groceries. You see my picture. Everything that you can't go without. This figure should be around 60% of your take-home salary. In my case, unfortunately, it is a little bit higher because I'm single, living by myself and have a mortgage. So my figure is sort of around 65%. I'm working hard to change that. I've changed some insurance policies. I also talked to my gas and electricity account holder and managed to get some discounts there. But yes, it is tricky, but living expenses should not be much higher than 60% of your take-home money. I've also started to cook more at home. I'm not a big cook, and buying food out or buying pre-prep meals just is pretty expensive. So I've bought myself a good book. This one, I really like this book. It is all about $10 meals, and it actually gives you a shopping list for a week that you can buy, and out of that shop you can make meals throughout the whole week using up all the leftovers, and they're all nutritionally great and really yummy. So yes, that book, I can only recommend it. The only tool I have used to work out my living expenses and my fixed costs is the good old spreadsheet. I could have done it myself in Excel, but because I'm not really good at Excel, I actually just downloaded one from a YouTuber called Melissa, and her channel is called Squirrels of a Feather. She's great. She's got a lot of tools that you can download for free and that will help you save money. Before I get into the bucket system, how do you manage your money? Any tips and tricks I could use to actually stay on track this time? Let me know in the comments below. So back to the bucket system. Scott Pape, who is the author of The Barefoot Investor, suggests that we only need to worry about 3 buckets: grow, blow, and a mojo, which is your emergency fund. For this video, let's just concentrate on the blow bucket, because this is the bucket your salary will go into, and this is the bucket where your life will come out of. And it's also the bucket that for me always seems to have a hole in it. And until we get this right, we don't even have to worry about emergency fund savings. And luckily in Australia, the grow bucket, which has long-term savings in it, is covered by our employers through a superannuation system where our employer pays in 12% of my salary into a superannuation fund that I can access once I hit retirement age. So let's not worry about the grow bucket for now. Okay, the second bucket we talk about is the splurge bucket. As the name suggests, this bucket is for short-term fun, such as going out, going to the movies, buying some new shoes, whatever brings you joy and you can afford this month. That's what the splurge bucket is for. Scott suggests to put 10% of your salary in there. So if you earn $5,000 a month that come into your account, you can put $500 in that account, and that's all the money you have to go out, have fun, buy things. That's it. Once that money is gone, don't spend any more money. The smile bucket, another 10% you put in there, and it is for long-term wants. Things you need to save up for, such as weddings, holidays, cars, a big birthday party, you name it. So hopefully by the time the big party comes around, or by the time the holidays start, you've got enough money saved to actually afford and pay for them in cash. And the fourth bucket is really the most important one for me at the moment. It's called the fire extinguisher bucket. And you put 20% of your take-home money into this account. This is the money you use to pay off your debt. Start with the debts with the highest interest rates and domino them down. So for myself, I just have one credit card. I will put the 20% into my credit card to pay it off as soon as possible. Meanwhile, I'm still saving though for other expenses in my splurge and smile accounts. Once all this debt is paid off, you can use up this money to start building up your emergency fund in your Mojo account. And once you've done that, you can start using this money to pay off your mortgage. But yes, for all of us, I would think we're all sitting in a situation where we need to pay off debt or start building an emergency fund. So concentrate 20% of your income on solely that, because that will give us the financial freedom in a couple of years to do whatever we want, hopefully, and not be so stressed anymore. So in order for this 4-bucket system to work, we have to be honest with ourselves. And this is the part where I struggle with the most. If the splurge bucket is empty, I can't go and buy myself something else that I think I need, or I do need, or I can't go out with my friends and spend $100 out for dinner and drinks. It sucks, I agree. But in order to get this working and in order to actually have some financial freedom in a couple of years, I need to make some sacrifices here and now to reap the benefits down the track. This is definitely the bucket I'm struggling with the most because I don't like missing out on things. And I often just go, it's fine, only this time, and I'll just pay it off next time, cycle. So from now on, I'll make a commitment that if the splurge bucket is gone, it's gone. I'm not going anywhere. Which doesn't mean I can't see my friends. It just means I have to rethink things. I can't go to the most expensive restaurant in town. I might have to catch up with my friends at home or just do a phone call, watch a movie at home rather than going to the movies. You get the picture. Be creative on how you can have fun and still socialize without having to spend heaps of dollars. If you're lucky enough to have $2,000 in a bank account, I would suggest, Scott suggests in the Barefoot Investor book, to put that in a separate account that you can't have access to easily and start your emergency mojo fund there. Having that money set aside just ensures that if something unexpected comes, you can pay for it. So put it away, never touch it, and once you've paid off all your debts, etc., keep adding your fire extinguisher money to it until you have at least 3 months of your income in that account. And once something happens, it's there, bam, you're set up and you don't have to use your credit card. Oh, and a tip from me, or something that I really have done and that seems to help with controlling a bit of my spending, take the credit card off your phone, and if you can, even don't take it out with you. I, by now, only use my credit card for purchases where I can't use anything else, such as booking flights, and by not having direct, quick access to it, it really limits me of using it. So if I don't have any money in my accounts, I don't have my credit card with me, I can't spend money. Okay, so that's my new financial year challenge for 2024. And I'm positive that at this time I can do this. I have to do this because I can't keep living from paycheck to paycheck, and I need some more money in my accounts to be able to actually retire at some stage and not having to work till I'm 80. And hopefully by making a video about this, I'm making myself accountable as well to all you and to my friends and to whoever else might see this video. So I have to stick to it, as it's just really embarrassing if people come up to you and go, oh, hey, how did it go? And I've fallen off the wagon again. So this keeps me accountable. I'm going to do it. I've set up my accounts, and once my pay comes in a week, I'm going to get started.